And in the season finale, Maul is on death's door and he knows it. He begs Alina to kill him. This would give her the power of ending this thing, breaking down the fold. She doesn't want to, but ultimately she knows that it's probably for the best. So she does it. And when it happens, so much energy comes out of her that it does bring down the fold. And even Kurgan has to be like, shit, this is cool. But even though the fold is gone, the smoke monsters still remain. Luckily, Inej has the sword, and one by one, she starts picking them apart, while Alina just focuses on Maul. She's still clinging to hope that she can bring him back. She's still yelling for Nina to come over, but Nina was taken by a smoke monster, and she's a little bit far away. Eventually, though, Nina does make her way over, and Alina explains the situation, begging Nina to save Maul. Kurgan then starts preaching to Alina that the world doesn't need a saint to save it. It actually needs a monster. Although, he can't even get a sentence out because he starts coughing. All that Merzost is killing him. It's incredible because he's still trying to convince her that she needs to be by his side. Because, as he puts it, when I die, you'll have no equal. And you'll just spend your days alone. No one's going to be there to save you. And she tells him, I will save myself. The smoke monster inside Kurgan gets real pissed off at that comment and comes out of him and starts choking her. But Inej throws the dagger into the smoke monster, killing it. And then Alina follows suit by stabbing Kurgan, killing him. And Kurgan dying couldn't come at a better time for Nikolai and his group. They entered the fort, which was inside the fold, and they were quickly attacked by Kurgan's smoke monsters, and they had a real tough time fending them off. Nikolai, in particular, had one attacking him the moment that Kurgan died, and when the Kurgan did die, that smoke monster died with it. It didn't mean that Nikolai wasn't hurt in the process, but the good news is he's alive, unlike Maul. Nina is trying her damnedest to bring Maul back to life, but she can't. And that's when desperate times call for desperate measures, and Alina does something she promised Bagra she wouldn't do. She uses Merzost to bring Maul back. A short while later, Maul, Nina, Inej, and of course Alina return to the fort to see the damage that was done. Friends are reunited, hugs are given out. Overall, it's a really good day, especially when everybody finds out that Kurgan is officially dead. When Alina gets some alone time, she goes to check on Maul, and he tells her, I don't feel that calling anymore that I had. Whatever it was, it left me when I died. And it really bothers him because he wants to know if that was the whole reason why him and Alina met and him and Alina fell in love. He tells Alina, we all know that you were meant for more, but now I don't know what I'm meant for. I was meant for you as a mythical amplifier to help raise you up and achieve the unachievable. And I did that, but now... And Alina cuts him off and says, now you're alive. One person who wasn't as lucky as Alina to have her love still be alive is Genya. She goes to check on the last place she saw David, and he's not there. He's clearly gone. Then it gets even harder for her when she goes into where he was staying and she finds the blueprints for an engagement ring. He was planning on proposing. It's really, really tough for Genya. After everybody, though, is able to kind of collect themselves, they head back to where Kurgan died to burn the body. They didn't want it being salvaged by some weirdos and made out to be like a cult figure. They have a little ceremony as he's burning. Nikolai gives a good speech, and it's done. Now they just have to focus on uniting Ravka and making allies. That's going to be on Nikolai and Alina. Alina is going to have to stay with Nikolai. They're too powerful of a couple, even though they're not really a couple. And she's also found a way for Maul to have a purpose. Now with Nikolai being king, he can't be a privateer and help out that way. So the job is Maul's if he wants it. It's not like either Alina or Maul are real happy about this separation, but it's probably what's best for the both of them. While it pains him, Maul says goodbye to Alina and then gets ready to board the ship. He's not the only one who's having trouble saying goodbye. So is Kaz. Kaz clearly has feelings for Inej. He just has trouble saying it. He goes to visit her to say goodbye because now she's free, and he lets her know that Lansoff paid up, so everyone's going to get their share. And Lansoff also pardoned Nina and Matthias. So Nina's headed off to go free him. He also brought Inej something that he's been searching for. He's come up empty so far, but it's a lead on where Inej can find her family. He's been searching all over for auctioneers. looking for the info that could get him a lead, but he's come up empty, so he passes it on to Inej. And when she asks why he did this, he says, "My brother's not coming back, but your family still can." She gets up to leave, and that's finally when he says, "I want you to stay. I want you." And she tells him, "I will have you, but without your armor." Meaning, you're going to have to actually touch me. You can't just wear gloves all the time. He doesn't give an answer, so she walks out. And she's going to join Maul's privateer ship, which, by the way, is also going to include Nadia, who is now a couple with Tamar, and they're adorable. Nikolai especially is relieved that Maul is taking up this role. He gives him the compass, and then he says, I thought of a perfect nickname for you. Sturmond. Because the world needs Sturmond, and I can't be it anymore. So just wear the coat, look at the compass, and play the part. But know that Tolia and Tamar are in charge of the ship. Everybody then says their goodbyes, and they head off. And it doesn't take too long for this privateer ship to find the slaver ship that Inej was looking for. Now, as I said, Nina got a pardon for her and Matthias, so she headed to Hellgate. She wanted to free him, but Matthias decided to go to Pekka Rollins after Pekka Rollins gave him some crap about wanting a purpose, and he wanted to fight. So when Nina shows up, she does so a little bit late because Matthias is entering the arena. She gets the attention of a guard saying, "I have a pardon from the King of Ravka," but the guard doesn't really give a rat's ass about it. And Matthias is put up against two wolves. And in Fjordan culture, these wolves are gods. You're not supposed to attack them, and he's not willing to. And everybody starts booing him when the wolves don't attack Matthias. They actually stand by his side. The guards come in and start getting a fight going, and Matthias decides to stab one of the guards. Pekka Rollins, who even though he's a prisoner is still running the fights, sees Nina and has her escorted out, as this King Pardon just lays on the floor. No one paying attention to it. Meanwhile, over in Ketterdam, Kaz used the money to open up a new Crow Club. One where he's buying out anyone from the menagerie who wants a job that doesn't mean selling their body. Even though he's on the up and up now, he's still in the market for big deals. And his crew just got offered a massive, massive opportunity. It's the biggest opportunity they've ever had. There's a new weapon that's about to hit the market, and if it does, it could make the destruction of the Fold seem like a spring picnic. If this thing hits the market, every corner of the world will feel the effects. This thing is a drug called Jirda Parum. It's highly addictive, and if Grisha take it, their power is amplified 1,000 times over. The chemist who created it fled to Kerch once he realized what he'd done, but he was captured by the Fjordans. He's now awaiting trial, but if the Fjordans weaponize this drug, the consequences are unimaginable. So the Crows have to make sure that that doesn't happen. That's kind of the last thing the new King and Queen of Ravka really need. They don't really want to deal with that kind of headache. They want a more happy situation, so they decide to hold a procession. It's a quasi-wedding, hey, we have a new king, but they're holding it on a very holy Fjordan holiday. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. The Apparat actually tells Nikolai as much. Dude, this is dumb. You're drawing a line in the sand. You're demanding to know who has Ravka's back. It's either blow off their party and come to ours, or blow off ours and go to theirs. But Nikolai says, I actually think it's a great opening salvo. It's kind of clear the Apparat doesn't think much of Nikolai, and Nikolai doesn't think much of the Apparat. But Nikolai is a little moody because when he takes off his jacket, he's infected. That smoke monster that attacked him did some real damage, and he's dealing with it in his shoulder. And when he turns around and looks in the mirror, he sees a smoke monster and gets really concerned. He goes to shield himself from this thing, but then it's just him staring at himself in the mirror. And Nikolai's not quite sure what to think. He ends up getting dressed and going to visit Alina before this ceremony. He tells her that he's honored to have her by his side. And when she jokes about not clinking glasses and making each other kiss, he says, no, I'm not going to make you kiss me. Not if you're thinking about him. While Nikolai clearly has feelings for Alina, he's going to wait for her to reciprocate. Alina just kind of has to get through this night, and then she's planning on heading to Shuhan to return the blade and hopefully make some allies there. While she's gone, she has some instructions for her bridesmaids, Genya and Zoya. She wants Zoya in charge of Grisha training, and she wants Genya to oversee things at the palace and make this place a safe haven for anybody. It hasn't been long, but in her short time, Alina is trying to do some good. They do, though, have to get to this whole procession. They're going through the song and dance. Everything's kind of going according to plan. And then that's when one Fjordan, who swallows some Jirda Param, starts attacking. She's a heart renderer. And she's so powerful that some people's hearts are literally exploding in their chests and they're spitting up blood. She's slowly making her way down the aisle towards Nikolai and Alina. And that is when Alina attacks, using the cut, but it's a dark cut. And everybody's really taken aback. While it saved everybody's life, they didn't expect that. I mean, that was sheer darkness. And while Alina is pretty shocked herself, she also subtly smiles because she kind of liked it. And that is the end of Season 2 of Shadow and Bone. Thank you so much for getting this part of the recap. I appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. I have merch, so you can go buy a t-shirt or something. That'd be cool. I have a Patreon. You can go give me $1 a month. That'd be cool too. As long as you just don't leave nasty comments, because that isn't cool. That's kind of a dick move. If I mess something up, look, these names aren't Jim and Frank. They're Grisha and Fjordan. It's not easy. You know what I'm talking about. Just move on. But just know that I do appreciate you sticking it out with me.